So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot.
Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Good morning.
Hi.
How are you?
Hey, hi. Nice to see you.
Likewise, and thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here today.
No, it's great.
Hi, nice to see you.
How are you? How are you? How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you very much.
Listen, I had to get the fangirl moment out, right? Thank y'all so much for taking time out of your schedule to join me today in the hot seat on the tan line. Now, did they warn you no tears are allowed during this interview? Did they tell you that?
For sure, you got that.
Now, listen, today, both of you are no stranger to the world of entertainment, and now you're taking this thing next level. The man, the music, the movement. There is so much that's going on. National Geographic, it's a documentary film, but, you know, with Disney Plus saying this is something that we actually need to educate and entertain. I love to call it edutainment, right? Because so many people have their voices and so many platforms, and we have to be responsible with those platforms that we have and the messages that we give. It means a lot. So today we have none other than the people's president, Bobi Wine, and his co-director, none other than the Christopher Sharp.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
Lovely to be here. Well, I'm fine. I don't know about you.
I'm feeling well. You know, it's one of those days you wake up and you decide to make the most of it.
Lovely. Lovely.
How did you know that as an entertainer, you wanted to switch the narrative and say, you know, instead of just rocking my melodies, my lyrics, and these microphones from stages, the world of politics or taking a stance for some other things? How did you know that was going to be a part of your journey? Or did you know?
Did I know? That's a good question. Did I even know? Will you ask, how did I know that I wanted to switch the narrative? I did not want to switch the narrative, but the narrative had to switch. You know, there came a time when I could no longer just look on. Well, I remember that particular time when the narrative switched from just entertainment to edutainment is when I faced it myself. I was in a nightclub and I was beat up by a guy my age just because he was working with security, and I was driving a precious Cadillac Escalade with spinning 24-inch wheels, and it slapped the hell out of me, asked me, why are you showing off? Don't you know this country has owners? Well, I had been a star, a music star, but having looked at the oppression that other people are going through, I was kind of, you know, guarded from it because I was a celebrity. But when that happened, I knew that I was not as safe as everybody else. That's when I started singing about the issues that affect the common people. Of course, it grew until it went from just singing about it to acting about it. That's when I ran to be member of parliament. I was in parliament for 3 years. The energy just couldn't stop. I ran for president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's huge in itself, right? But just to say that someone will literally call themselves giving you a slap into reality. It's not that the world you were living in was not a part of your reality, and it wasn't that you were so far removed. I guess it just wasn't on your doorstep as often as it was on theirs, and he took it some type of way, and that was the wake-up call. But we're just grateful that it was a wake-up call that didn't turn
Wake-up slap.
a wake-up slap, because, you know, now in today's climate, you know, people aren't slapping anymore, they're shooting, right? So it's just one of those things. Life has changed so much. And Chris, I have to put you in the hot seat. How did you know that this was a story that you wanted to help bring to life, to give the viewers, to say, you know, this is where we are, and this is the message that we want to create?
Yeah, well, I grew up in Uganda, and when I met Bobby and Barbie, I just could see that it was the most incredible story. You know, they were wonderful people embarking on this very perilous, dangerous journey. And they were doing it knowing what they had to lose. You know, Bobby can't, he's not allowed to perform his music in Uganda. Radio stations aren't allowed to play his music. They do everything they can to make his life misery. His friends get locked up. People who support him get abducted, tortured, disappear. It's a very violent society. And in this, you've got these two incredible people, Bobby and Barbie, who remain optimistic, cheerful, hopeful. And they very purely have the values that we hold. They believe in non-violence and they believe in democracy. And they're willing to risk everything for those two principles. And I just felt I felt they were incredible. And I thought it was an amazing story, and it just had to get out there, and people need to know, and people need to support them, and people need to stop supporting Uganda.
Yeah. And, when you say put a muzzle on people and implement that fear, to stop pressing play on his music, to stop allowing him to perform because they understood the magnitude that was coming along with it. The masses would listen to whatever it is he had to say. Oh, you have supporters? Let's lock them up, put them somewhere to where they can't be supportive and help you light that torch.
Oh, yeah.
That is a level of fear. It almost makes me think, well, hold on a second now. Bobby, I'm gonna have to cut this interview a little short. Are they still kidnapping folks? Like, I need to watch the show at this point, right? Because that is something that is life changing.
That's true.
Did you ever get to the point
You
where
know,
you
it's
said worth it, Bobby, along this journey when things started changing? Is it worth it? Whatever the it may have been to get you to start, you knew that they were piling up all of these bricks. It was on your chest, you and your family, you have to go
Yeah.
through this. And while you're going through it, the world isn't so empathetic. They just add extra to see how much it'll take to
Yeah.
break you.
Yeah, actually, the question shouldn't be, did you ever get a time? The question should be, do you ever get tired? Because it happens so many times. Just today is Independence Day in Uganda, but many of my colleagues have been arrested for holding prayers, just prayers in solidarity with our missing people that have been taken away by the government. So it sickens every time. But I mean, looking at the responsibility that we have and the hope that we have been able to inspire, and the millions of young people that look up to us and have been convinced that it's going to be all right. That alone is reason enough to keep going. There's there's a lot of reasons to give up, but there's much more reasons to persevere through.
Absolutely. And I love that. We always find that one excuse to sit down, even though we just need one excuse to keep going, one reason to keep
Oh
going.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And when
Oh
you
yeah.
realize that your purpose should be driven with that passion, it doesn't allow you to sit still. So Chris, whenever you get to the point of telling the story and helping him put all of these life instances into what we will see on Disney Plus, how hard was it for you to say, this isn't going to make the film? This part, oh, it's really good, because I'm sure all of it was really good, but man, that has to be applied pressure. When Bobby was like, well, this part wasn't in here, Chris, what happened?
Hey, how have you spoken to Bobby before? What you're saying? How did you know? How did
Right.
you know? That's so
Like,
funny.
once for yes, twice for no.
No one has ever put it so correctly as you. No, we had 4,000 hours of footage, and we had to get it down into under 2 hours. And there was lots of stuff we couldn't show. I mean, one of the main things missing from the film is violence. We show some violence, and people watch the film, they say how violent, but the actual violence we witnessed was way beyond anything you see in the film. We interviewed people who'd been tortured, had their eyes gouged out, fingers chopped off. I mean, really, really, really brutal. But at the end of the day, when you watch the film, you'll see that what we've done is we've stuck very closely to Bobby and Barbie, and the pain felt by the people of Uganda is very much seen through them. And Bobby and Barbie are such brilliant storytellers, and the music is such a way of getting the narration out there. That was the best way to do it. It was to stick with them and not to be distracted by lots of other stories we could have told. And there was loads of people we filmed and watched who were equally deserving of being in the film. But at the end of the day, Bobby and Barbie, I mean, they are heroes, and you really see that in the film.
Yeah, you know, and even today to know that they're still carrying all of the weight of knowing that with change, you're going to come across some challenges. You're going to challenge people to think differently, to move differently, to say it and to say it out loud, not just with their words, but through their actions, and to be consistent, even as they see the world around them crumbling or my eyes started watering when you said that people were having their eyes gouged out or their fingers cut off. Like, you see it in the movies, you may even hear about it in certain things, but it's just like, oh my God, is that really what life is about? Is that really how life happens? You know, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be a lot. One of those films where you can't afford to miss it. And I just appreciate the hard work and dedication that you all put into telling this. And I know that you did it in a tasteful way, to where we will be entertained, but well educated and informed, and to continue to move along, to learn more, to see how we can lend our voices, expand our platforms to help others understand.
Yeah, that's right. And also the music's absolutely wonderful. So, you know, when we got to the end of the film, we showed it to Bobby. Bobby said, "Why does it feel so down at the end?" Well, it feels down because the election was won by Bobby and his team. So many people suffered, so many people died. But Bobby ultimately is an optimistic person, and he's all about picking people up, you know. And even now, when things, you know, we finished the film with a song, "Everything's going to be all right." And when you listen to that song, that's Bobby's message. He's going to keep going. He's going to keep picking up the people of Uganda, and the people of Uganda love him.
Absolutely. Well, I know that you have a lot of work to continue, and we want to be able to keep up with all of the things going on with the people's president and Christopher Sharp. So how can we keep up with you and all of the wonderful things that you're doing?
Well, I think Bobby, are you still with us?
There he is.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, we were just saying, how can we keep up with you? Can you just tell us about your social media?
Oh yes, please follow me on Facebook. My name is username is Bobi Wine, BOBIWINE. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I must emphasize that it is on our Facebook and Twitter, our social media, where we communicate, since the official and formal communication all belongs to the regime. So the only reliable way to access Uganda is through social media. Facebook is banned in Uganda, but we somehow go through, never mind, we go through using VPN, and it's our biggest way of letting out information out of Uganda.
Absolutely. And I just want to encourage you to keep on keeping on, and everything's going to be all right. You know, and I
Thank you.
thank you all so much for taking time out of your schedule. I know you got more
It's
work
gonna
to
be
do,
all right.
so I'm gonna
Yes.
let you chase the sun or let the sun chase you. But either way, get after it. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Thank y'all so much.
Thank
Fine,
you.
lovely, lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.